and mm, driver equal to new S driver. Yeah. So this also I will have to import from openqa.selenium.h. Okay. So my base class is getting ready, and once my driver is initialized, I will have to put some assertion and those maximize drive window and all, right? So for that, what I have to do, driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. Then let me put some uh, timeouts. Page load timeout. Let's say I'm giving a timeout of 20 seconds, and time unit dot seconds, and driver dot manage dot timeout dot implicitly wait. Let me give 10 seconds here. Time unit dot seconds. Okay, so what else? I have to get the URL also, right, guys? So how do I get the URL? For that, I will have to read that URL from property file. So prop dot get property, and here what we have specified URL, right? URL only within the double quotes. So I got my URL from my properties file. I got my browser name also from my properties file only, right? So I don't have to hard coded that value anywhere in my base class, right? And this also, the page load timeout and the implicit wait, whatever I have hard coded here, I can keep it in my test util package, right? So if at all there are any changes in this timing, I can get that directly from my util package. So in my util package, let me create a class, new class, and let's say that we are giving the name as time. Let's say we are giving the name as test util, and in this I will specify something called public static long page load timeout equal to, let's say, 20 seconds. So I am defining two public variables here, public and static variables here. Static long implicit wait equal to 10 seconds. Okay. So this value again will not be hard coded in my base class. And here what I have to do, I have to directly read this, right? So how would I read that? Since that variable is a static variable, how can I read that? Class name dot variable name, right? So test util dot page load timeout and test util dot implicit wait. Okay, if at all there are any changes, you can directly go to your util class and do the changes here. Is it fine, Disha, Satara, Vishal?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so when we are trying to keep everything dynamic, as in we are not doing anything hard-coded as of now. Now, the next task would be to extend my base class to all the page classes, as in like all the classes, to be precise. So let me, so this is my base class, and then I will extend this base class to all the page classes first. So extends, what is my base class name? That is my test base.java, right? Test base. And this I have to import from QA base, right? So everywhere I have to do like this. Extends this. Logout page. Everywhere I have to extend my base class. And I don't have any class here. And this class also will be extending my base class. Okay. So likewise, I will be extending my base class to all the child classes, all the other classes of my end-to-end package, end-to-end framework. Okay. Now my next task would be to create some object repositories for, let's say, for 1 or 2 pages. Okay, so let's say, let me close this all and let me open the home page first. Okay, in home page, what I will do, I will go to my home page here. And what exactly I am doing here, I am actually clicking on the sign in button largely, right? And I can, validate the title of the web page. I can validate the URL, or likewise, I can put some test cases also here, because eventually this is my home login, I mean, as in the home page. So I can put some validations here also. So let's say, um, first I am identifying this sign in button, right? So I am writing the uh, locator for this sign in button, and I would be using the page factory model. Yeah, we would be using Vishal, this WebDriver manager class also going forward. But for now, let's stick to this systems outside property. Okay, so sign in button. So we have this anchor tag, I mean tag A, and we are having some text also here, right? So either we can use the directly link text here, or we can write some customized XPath also. So I would prefer to write the XPath, because XPath is kind of, more robust, and it won't, fail quite frequently, right? So what I have to do for that, I will be using a page factory model, right? So for that, I would be using a find by annotation, and my XPath would be for this. Can you help me writing a XPath, guys? How do I write a XPath for this? Vishal, can you help me with writing XPath for this? A simple XPath for sign in link.
Yes, sir.
So
Eh,
this is the one. Disha, is it fine? Or
Yeah, that's fine. We have used contents, right? So,
yeah, we have used contents, yes. But it is not giving any.
Nitin, please, yeah, please close that properly.
Okay. Let's add the rate find by, and here I have to give some next path, and this would be my web element. Let's say sign in button. Okay, and find by I will have to import from, and web element I will have to import from OpenQA Selenium. Right, so this would be my first object for that web page, right? Now what else I have to create? What other objects I need to create in that web page? Do we need anything else here? We would be largely using sign in only, and when we can from the verification point of view, we can validate if my URL of a web page or the title of the web page is fine, or maybe okay, let's keep it only one as of now, right? So then we will see. Next would be to create the constructor of this web page, right? So in that constructor, we would be actually initializing our elements, right? So using that page factory, so we would be initializing our page objects. So this is essentially my page objects, and this would be essentially my initialization of page objects. Okay, and here what I have to do, I have to create a constructor, public home page, and in that constructor I will have to write page factory dot init element, and driver, and then I have to write homepage dot java, or maybe this. Okay, so this, either I can write this or I can write homepage dot class also, because I will have to point to this page only, right? So this will essentially initialize all the web objects of this web page, right? So with the help of this will actually initialize the object of the current class with this driver. Next would be to write some action methods. So action methods, what all action methods we would need here? We would need, we will have to click on that sign in button, right? So we will have to click on the sign in button. So public void click on sign in. So for that I have, what I have to do, Disha, sign in dot,
sign in dot click.
yeah, sign in dot click only, right? And once I click on this sign in button, I will be navigating to the next page, right? Login page.
Yes, correct.
So essentially it should return me the login page, right? So rather than keeping this void, I will have to create the object of the, I will have to keep the object of the login page here. So I will write like
Okay.
return new sign in page, right? So this is actually returning the object of the sign in page. So let's say I'm writing like let me define something at the global level. So sign in page, let's say sign in. This is the object and this only I am returning. So sign in page equal to yeah. So this is returning me the sign in page, right?
Yeah.
Vishal, Sitara, any confusion here?
No issues.
Okay. Okay. Next would be to let's say validate some this one title and this URL of the web page. So 1 second, just give me a minute. So for that, let me write like public void let's say validate title, validate title, validate, let's say homepage title. This would be more appropriate. Okay, and title, how would I validate title? So I will driver dot get title, right? So it would give me the title, and this title would be the string type object, right? This would return the string. So let me put the return statement here, so that in my test case class I can directly validate that, and there it would be string because this is returning you string. Okay, next let's say validate URL, public void validate homepage URL, and this will again give me driver dot get current URL, and this again would be a string type. So return driver dot get URL, and here let me write string. So likewise, I have written 3 action methods as of now here. Those we can use for creating our test cases, basically for this sign-in page. Right. So now the next task would be to create some of the test case for the sign-in page. Okay. Until here, everything is fine, guys. Or any question you have? So what I will have to go to my test case package, and in that I will create a class, and that would be my more appropriately that would be my sign in test cases. Okay, and I will not use any static main method here also, because I would be using test ng. And in my this sign in page, sign in test case page, first I will have to extend that with test base. Test base, right? So extends, and then I will have to create, some of the methods I will have to define @before method, and in that I will do the setup of the browser. So public void setup, and the next method would be @after method. This would be my public void tear down. Okay. So in the before after method, I will like driver dot quit. I will quit my browser. In my before method, what I will do, I will actually initialize my this browser. So I have one initialization method, right, in my test base class, so which I will call directly from my sign in test page. Okay. So initialization, because that method is static, so I can directly call, right, initialization. And then what I have to do, I have to create the object of this sign in page, right? So I am having some methods, right? So I will have to create the object of this, not sign in page, sorry, what I have done, home page. So where is the home page? This is the home page. So I will have to create the home page of object of this home page here. Sorry, home page. And with this also, let me use globally. So home page equal to new home page. Okay, and now I will have to use some test cases here. So I can write like public void home page title test. So home page title test, and this would be my home page dot home validate home page title, right? So I can call that method, right, because those methods were there in my home page. Disha, Sitara, Vishal, any confusion here?
No, Nitin.
Okay, are you sure that you are getting everything?
Yeah, so far, yes. Maybe we'll once we do hands-on.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
time we might have.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Yeah. So this will return you the title, right? So string title, and then I have to put assert dot assert true, not assert true, assert equal, and my actual would be title, and expected would be, which I get it from here, right? So my title is my store. Okay, so this would be my title test. Next would be to validate the URL. So again, for that also public test @ public void homepage URL test. So for that, I am having a object reference already, homepage dot validate homepage URL. So this also would be a string URL, and then for this also I will have to use assert equals my actual is URL and my expected would be this one, right? So this would be my expected URL. And the next would be to click on the sign in button. So public void click sign in. So for that, homepage dot click on sign in button, right? So that would be my sign in test, right? And once I click on the sign in button, I am landing onto the next page, that which is my login page. So I will have to put the login page, sign in page here, because it is returning the sign in page. And for this, I will have to create a object reference for sign in page here. Yeah. So, and I can define some priorities also here. So first, let's say first would be like executing my title test, and then it would be executing my URL test. Then it would be clicking on the sign in this login button, right?